that creating artwork has always been a form of language for me. And it's a form of language that has always stimulated my cells to a certain degree. And I don't think it's just in one part of my body. I think it's been able to move throughout my body. And I think I'm a pretty good communicator, but what I communicate through my art, I think, is it's like a life energy. And I think it's more powerful than what I'm able to communicate through my words. And that has always moved my spirit. This work is called Metaphysical Planes of Life. And it is a work that I did in graduate school. And during that experience, I was also going through a ailment. That work was about learning to separate the pain that I was going through from my reality. And so it's called Metaphysical Planes of Life, and it is divided into three planes. I've always been really interested in spatial planes. And in this work, I'm looking at spatial planes, but I'm also looking at how the spine works. And then the top layer is about the spiritual plane of life or existence. The middle and the way that it's set back with the warm tones and the rice paper is about the emotional state of our existence. And then the lower is the physical plane of existence. For the majority of my art experience, my career, I have always worked with collage or assemblages. So I have built like a plethora of materials when it comes to collaging and assemblages, and they're all to some extent, well, they're organized by materials. I've got this serious Tupperware situation where you got the clear, so that you know what's in, basically by sight, you know what's in each container. I have this collector spirit in me, kind of inherited through my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother. Each woman collects different types of things for, of course, a different reason. As you're young, you are drawn to a certain I think certain patterns of things that are attributed to your character, even early on. And some of those things will fade away, but others are definitely finite and they continue to grow as your character, as you grow. And I since I was 8, I've known I wanted to be an artist. And so what that meant for me was that I've always had this fascination with using things that were either gifted to me, like the universe gifted something to me, and or that have a one purpose and then I transform them into something else. So my collections began as a child when I used to feel like I was lucky when I would find little things on the street. And then as I grew, it kind of the need to collect elevated. And I really knew that I wanted to be an artist early on. So these things that were dropped in my path, in my presence, I knew that they were meant for something else. So that collecting spirit came early. In relationship to the subject matter that my work is usually about, it's one, color, but also the experience of being a woman, so womanhood in general. In addition, talking about it through abstraction, usually the patriarchy of this society and how women are not treated well, not treated as we're supposed to. And it's amazing to me as I look either on my phone or Instagram or the news and seeing layers of how that is being unfolded and challenged throughout the world. And it's absolutely something that I think I had a heightened sense to early on in my life. And I've tried to encapsulate it through my work. For example, when people see my works in relationship to some of the large scale installations that are definitely about color, rhythm, and movement, but underneath that there is a narrative. The chicken wire itself is about, I see that as a masculine structure, in which that it's hard, it's solid, it's made of a metal, which is absolutely needed in our universe. But juxtapose that, I use materials that are and colors that are usually associated with femininity, and I weave them through this masculine form to talk about the balance, either lacking and or needed in our society. So that's one way. But absolutely, in relationship to talking about the African diaspora and racism, that is also one of the underpinnings of my work in general. I know that sometimes that people are drawn to the color, they're drawn to the texture, they're drawn to the materiality, and I welcome that. But I also hope that some dig deeper and are looking for a different level of experience.